X marks the spot. Marks the spot. No. Lauren Rafferty. Okay, so this we've already... Romance in Court Jester. Romance in Court is a book in by Lauren Roottrees. It's the first and most famous in the series of 3 books, often called the Court Jester series. All 3 books in the series are about different romances, but told via the same narrator. You can probably surmise the narrator's profession. The 2 other books were called Return to Court and New Romance in Court. Searching for them online yields few results. The books had some popularity when they were released in the 60s. Now 30 years later, they aren't in high demand. Romance in Court. Romance in Court. Re-release as Romance in Court. Court Jester. Okay. New system coming fall 1999. Okay. Then let's... Oh, I bet that one. Okay, so that's there. So there's 2 more here. So that I think is 1. I'm entitled entry title Sam from Lauren Rootree's diary. Elias Roottree had given. So Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked Sam who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside farmhands EC and John. Along the farmhands EC and John when he used to drive past. So Clancy saw EC and John. Which one was EC? EC and John. I'm not sure now. Eli even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that was proper for a multitude of... Oh, because she's a woman. But Eli certainly seems thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup. Why is Granddad making an exception now? Because obviously she's family. Don't be dumb. Come on. I just got to figure out where she fits in. And I got to figure out who all of this is. Wait, you can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It has 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Great. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. I want to figure out who are these people. Why are these so hard to figure out? And who are you? Okay. Roottree. November Roottree, Christina Roottree, Jack Roottree. Can we just start November Roottree? Of course there's nothing. Of course there's nothing. Why would there? Edward Roottree. What about Edward Roottree? Okay, but what about Business Watch? Is there anything? No. How are you supposed to figure out? But also, this one has still 10. 9. So there's a ton of information in here that I just can't figure out. Okay. He's getting married. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists. Musicians and artists. Musician. This is Clark's generation, right? Yeah. Musician. They're not all musicians and artists. What are you talking about, Lauren? I actually have no idea. Okay. And dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seemed to have gone over because Edward is set to take over, so we got that. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet the kids. But the free spirits and any other family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. How are there so many clues left? I'm missing, I'm missing something. I just don't know what I'm missing. I don't get it. This for sure is, we can get rid of this one because we know that that's her. What about, what did Lauren say about Gwen and that dude? Not Wild Bill. Harrison Lane. What about Harrison Lane? Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere? Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers doesn't, but Guys Like Us... Western Frontiers. Are you just telling me that Western Frontiers? Okay. Wild Bill Williams. Wild Bill Williams. What about, or modern music? No. Fortune favors the grave. You find leading man. Okay, he appears in the adventure movie called, which has yet to be released. You won't find any different. Oh, he was known for his good looks and off-screen romance, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and that she was already aware of his reputation. While Bill grew up in Paris, France, he returned there often. What's the French name for William? Jacques is Jack. Wild Bill Williams. Let's see. I know that's not going to help, but Gwyn Roottree. Appeared often in tabloids. Christmas Mission? Did we look that one up already or no? Christmas Mission on a page called Flops. On a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS, the site is not very well organized. Christmas Mission on a page called Flops. It's a war movie about World War I, released in 1955, that received poor reviews and lost the studio money. Gwyn Roottree had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. You find no additional... Did you know the movie was marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the events happening has ever been found? There's a widely circulated picture of Gwyn from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which added, Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias, the founder of Roottree Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare. Guys like us, we looked up. I just don't know. Like, you're definitely in college. Right? Like, you have to be. But I don't know your name. You're just the boys. Unless you're just an unknown male. But you're going to have names because you have pictures. Everyone look for a French name. Besides LaRue. But also, I need, like... Yeah, there's nobody here. But also Ernest. Like somewhere along the line, there's an Ernest somewhere, right? Because you go here. No, not you. You. This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath the candle. To Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have made it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours, so Ernie, Debbie, and you find an article from December 1995, President to take over Roottree. Due to heart illness, Ernie Jr. is stepping down as president of Roottree at the start of the second quarter. His second cousin, Carl, president of his sister company Root, and former Watchman of the Year, will take over. It's been 13 years since Ernie was forced to step into the role of president unexpectedly. Back then, not much was known about the man other than his full name. In the years since, he was taken on a bit of a reputation as a real-life Wonka. He's known as a bit eccentric and reclusive, opting to be simply called Ernie Jr. and to forego the typical luxuries of the average Roottree. But in our estimation, he has been a shrewd businessman with an eye for sweets. Ernie Jr. has led Roottree to record profits by developing new products, including the ever-popular Maple Crisps. I'm wondering... Okay, hold on. Oh, I can't. Okay. Ernie Jr. Maple Crisps. And by spearheading the formation of Root with his cousin in 1982, after learning of Brenda Roottree's power in the fashion community. So 13 years. So 1995, 1982. President. Edit. Became president. Okay, so they have one daughter, so Second cousin. They only have one kid, so it's one of these two right here, right? Yeah, it has to be one of these two. Which is interesting. Unless, let's see, Ernest Madsen and then Ernest Madsen Jr. Ernest Madsen Jr. President fourth. And then you. And then Debbie. Wait, no. Has to be because there's a picture here. So you are Ernest Madsen Jr. You, is that you? Then Debbie. But Nicole, oh, Nicole Madsen. And that would be you there. You're the president, or you were the president, right? You can go away. Okay. But I don't know. Let's see. Go back here. Go to this one. Ernie Jr. So that's Eli. I think that's Guy. So this could be Ernie. This could be Ernie, or this could be Ernie. Right? But there's also Clark. You or you. One of yous are. And then, so you must have a daughter. Like, you must have had a daughter that married in to Ernest Masden. Student, I guess. Right? Like, that has to be. And I don't know what you do. Oh, okay, you're a mechanic. Okay. Oh boy, this was that was just a guess. I have no idea. You've also unlocked. Okay. Wow. That was luck on my part, 100%. Like, without question. Too much staring at the screen. Let's see here. So where did we leave off? We got so many people. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives, your completely correct name, occupation, of portrait, they'll be locked in. All non-blood and small portrait are optional. Placing them in a tree helps remove extra names and photos. Yep. We just need 3 more names. So who is Elias's son? Elias M. Roottree. Or daughter. I guess it could be a daughter. But it's going to be a Roottree name, right? And there's so many of them left. Why? Why does there have to be so many? You're married. We don't have anything like on Kim LaRue. Yeah. Unless, wait. What about Nina? or Nikki. Well, like Nicole Smith, maybe? But also, who are you married to that you have kids with? And how do we figure out who that is? Because we have done Rafferty. A few fan sites for the band these times. Skip it. Flip it. C and J. Oops. And J and D. Okay. And 2 of the LaRue sisters. So Kim LaRue is not a daughter. She's just there, I think. I don't think she's the daughter. But Jane LaRue and Clark Rafferty. What about C and J? Clark Rafferty. Just that, just. No, there's nothing. Go back here. Okay, so this also has to be a Madsen, right? Does that have to be Gwyneth Madsen? Oops. Gwyneth Madsen. Okay. And then I don't think I have a I have a Gwen, but not Gwyneth Madsen. Most of that information comes from Lauren's diary. But that has to be Gwyneth Madsen. But I don't know who she married to. Gwyneth Madsen. Which could be. Could be these two or her. And Carolyn. Okay, let me just go. So, no, Carolyn Morden was. Wait, let me go back here real quick. So this was from the 70s, and this one was from when? Also, there's still 5. Oh, wait. Let's do Maybe we try this. Hold on. Okay. Carolyn what? Carolyn Morden. Published 1987, softcover, large, mostly black and white pictures of Carolyn's art. The centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. Thank you for that. Need to be able to put this on online. In the intro, Caroline talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation, and in her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. Wait, sister Gwendolyn? Okay. And cousin Bonnie. Wow, jeez. Decided to settle for boring men. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely brother-in-law. So Wilson. This is a Wilson. Oh. Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art, and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She comes out strongly against the Roottree Company's effect on local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, and the only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter, leaving them all behind for good. He pushed her to pursue her true love. Mark. Mark with a C or with a K? Which one? K. Mark. Mark Landon. Ah. That's why. Who did... What did she say? Oh, now I don't know her name. That's why the name was wrong, but the picture was right. Got it. Okay. Guardian, adoption, or otherwise. Okay. So, Dr. Wilson. There's no way that this is going to work. Okay, actually it did. That is surprising. Dr. Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Stephen Wilsons and Dr. Wilsons, this one apparently found a way to game the search results as he pops up to the top every time. His website claims that he's a pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is that he apparently was a doctor to the Roottree sisters. There's a picture of him on his website as well as a picture of his 3 children. The 3 of them look as though the photographer was holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There's also a quote that, although credited to his child Jason, you suspect might not be written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the entire world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would me, my big brother, or my sister. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's something. Dr. Stephen Wilson. Okay, let's do this. So, Stephen Wilson. Yeah, that's you weirdo. And then, oh my. Okay, Dr. Stephen's kids. The quote below is credited to Jason. My dad is the best dad in the entire world. So, obviously, you're the oldest, you're the middle, and you're that. Wilson. Zach? And Jem, I'm guessing, and Jason. And I'm going to say student. And the student In college. Okay. Wow. That's good. That's good. That was. I mean, they all looked like they were going to be students, right? Like they had to have been. Okay. All right. And that was the three that we needed. So now we should get a visit.
On the phone, I said I owed you an explanation, but I can't reveal everything. Not yet. I'm sure this all seems like deception for deception's sake, so I'll try to explain why. It's true, I'm working with lawyers, but not the candy company lawyers, my publisher's lawyers. I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees, especially Elias and the Five Pieces. The truth often isn't. But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried it'll look like I'm making things up to exploit a tragedy. So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story. If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that. I hope you understand. That said, I can say that the work you're doing is very personal to me. To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed it. It's locked for now. I'll return one final time, after you fill it in. Also, there are fewer Roottrees left. In a sense, that makes it easier. Use process of elimination. It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they lock from here on out. I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake. You're getting closer and closer to the truth. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Oh boy. Oops. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's see the big picture here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus you, 13. I just don't know what you do. Like, how am I supposed to know what you do? Can I just say unknown occupation? Probably not, huh? Next time they return, they give you a partial explanation. They hired you to help verify the personal account of the family's history. All you have to do is finish the family tree and find out. Yeah. 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 Okay, so Clark has 8 things left. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. 8 clues for a specific piece of evidence. But I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge. Like, yeah, I get they pursued paths of knowledge, but what does that mean? Media mogul, news anchor, nurse, politics, principal, maybe a principal? Were you a principal? Probably not if your dad had to force you to send your son to the academy. And then Gwyneth Madsen. So not you. But then who are you in the back? Angie and I both want to be Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Mr. Morden, who is there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Mr. Morden, who is there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Okay, so that's Morden. We were told only the 5 pieces, which didn't go over too well, to say the least. Okay. So we need Gwyneth. We need a picture of Gwyneth. The question is, who is Gwyneth? So okay. And that's Bonnie, right? Okay, so that's Bonnie. Can't do that with you. Gwyneth M, Gwendolyn. So Bonnie, Guy, Ernie? No, Carl. That's Ernie. Gwyneth M, which we don't have yet. Gwendolyn, we don't have yet. Miracle Jr., who's that? Jim Roottree. That might be Jim. Which one is Jim? Jim. Can't be that. James Roottree. Could that be him? No. Okay, maybe it is. Because that's the only one. Unless... Oh, I bet that's him. I bet that's Jim. Yeah, that's Jim Roottree. Okay. So then who did Gwyneth get married to? So... He's standing... So Ernie is standing there. Glasses. That's him. This might be Gwyneth, actually. This one could be Gwyneth. Housewife, maybe? And then the question is Roottree and Patricia. So it has to be a Roottree, right? It has to be a Roottree. Could it be Samantha? Roottree. It has to be a lady Roottree, right? So it could be Christina. It could be Samantha, Tessa. Male. So Christina, November, or Samantha or Tessa Roottree. Okay. So Samantha Roottree. Who else? November Roottree, Christina Roottree. We've tried November. I don't know that we tried Christina. Okay. And nothing, of course, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing ever. Boy. Wait. Morden. Who did I? Gwyneth Madsen and Gwendolyn Morden. Gwendolyn. And who was the sister? So Caroline. Caroline. I bet that's Caroline right there. Oops. Let's do this. I bet that that is Caroline. That looks like Caroline. I don't think that's Gwendolyn though. I think it would leave these two, one of these as Gwendolyn. Maybe. Then the question becomes, would this be... Would that be his daughter? Roottree. Oh boy, I don't think this is right. But we're gonna toss that in there for right now. And of course, I don't know who these people, I don't know their name. Is there any ones that I can like fill in? So we still don't, I mean, we don't have names. Okay. Newspaper clipping. There's one more clue in here. It's captioned Caroline standing next to her sculpture Atlantis's burden. Maybe Atlantis's burden? Periodicals. Let's do this, and then we'll do this. Next to her sculpture, according to a quote for the down, it meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Let's see. I don't know. These Times is an old single from folk groups C&J and J&D. You have a scan of the album as well as a recording of the title track thanks to the collector of Jim and Roottree memorabilia. Okay, just wanted to make sure. The website also listed the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottree, backup vocals by the LaRues. On it is a sticker that says folk style songwriting catchy magazine. The lyrics of the song contain no clues. And we looked at magazine, right? Yeah, Modern Music Monthly. These Times, we've done this many times already. These Times, oops. And what is but there's still a ton of clues for this. Yeah, and see, there's no, like, still nothing about the boys. And there's still evidence there. Oh, here, let me... Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye. Okay, but we know that CM is you, Carolyn Madsen. But I do want to get the husband's name or the partner's name. Oh yeah, it's Jones now. That's right. Brian Jones. Okay. So, Gwyneth Madsen. Let's see. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth. Her father. The 5th generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. There's 5 flavors because the 5. Unless, like... Can you... Nope, doesn't flip over, does it? You can just move it around. Radical new flavors. But it means nothing. So strawberry, cool chocolate, bad blue raspberry. Oh boy. It is credited to Peter Yanowitz. Peter Yanowitz seems to be a music critic. You can find him mentioned on a fan website. He used to work for before the magazine went under. Peter Yanowitz wrote a great many reviews and articles for Modern Monthly Magazine. You don't see anything relevant anywhere in the first pages, and then there are too many results. If you're looking for specific album names or artists, you may have better luck searching for those instead. Music and lyrics by Jim Roottree. Notable Rootrees. Fall on deaf ears. During summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. I hope she'll be the sister I never had. Happiness for my coffee. She gets to be in Starlet. Oh, wait. Why didn't I highlight? Does that matter? Hold on. Starlet? Oh. Starlet was a magazine. Okay, well, let's see. I started on the colorization of film and went until around 1960. Generally, it was a tabloid that focused on famous actors and actresses. It didn't much go into any other aspects of filmmaking or Hollywood news. That's weird because it doesn't have like there's no more clues here, so I don't know why that didn't pop up. But okay, so Starlet, Gwen, because she's the star, right? Or she's the actress. Gwen Roottree was often in Starlet. Most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. The gossip is speculative and full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she also announced she was pregnant again. Others mention the rumor is Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. There's also an interview from earlier in mid-1957 where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather consistently preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottree has power. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild combined with the alliteration Williams is incredibly memorable. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlet exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottree for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation." Okay, so Cornwall is the dad's name, so we know that now. Linus Cornwall. Great. Got to figure out because Wild Bill, obviously Williams is not on here, so he has some other name. But we now know that they're sticking with Roottree, and one is Robert and one is Ronald. I'm just going to stick with this here for now. And then let's do Wild Bill Williams here. Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan with stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public. 3 specific passages stand. The first mention of his first role under his real name, Walter Forsythe. Okay, so let's go here real quick. Forsythe, Walter. Got it. The second is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you determine it from context he's talking about Gwen Roottree. An apology to all the ladies, I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a bitch cut me out from the picture. I'm just ribbing. It wasn't his fault. Apparently, the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I got the last laugh, though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumor more credibility. Okay. So now, Robert Roottree. Nothing relevant for Robert. What about the other one? Ronald? Nothing relevant for... But what about Robert Roottree? No. Okay, Ronald. No. What about business? Butler County Times? Modern Music Monthly? No. Okay. Robert then? No. So this is kind of just a luck of the draw thing? I don't know. What if it's Ronald and this is Robert? Okay, that doesn't help. Maybe they're both in college. I feel like Ronald is an older name, so I'm gonna stick with that as Ronald and Robert. Let's see. Director? I mean, he's in film school, so okay, we'll stick with you there and then maybe like you there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so that kind of helps us a bit. Now what? Still 8 here though. My goodness. But openly confronting them would make a hypocrite. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is free spirit. Who has any discipline is Carl. That's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Like, is he a professor? Is he... The problem is, I have no idea. He's not a baby. I mean, I guess he could be in some instances. I don't really know. Media mogul. Not a media mogul. He could be a model. Look at that mustache, man. I don't think he was a model though. He wasn't in politics. I have no idea. I'm gonna say he was a professor. He looks like he could be a professor. Still have no idea who this one is. I mean, it has to be a girl. But it could be any girl. Anybody, anywhere. But also, we know that her occupation was housewife. Because all of the women up to this point, besides Gwen, were housewives. Right? That's what they said. That's what Lauren said in her book. Okay. What else? We've looked, like, what about, I mean, we've looked at her books before, right? She's the granddaughter. We saw the Clancy Trust. Sam, Dynasty, Clark. There's so many. Like, Swashbuckle My Heart, I feel like it has to still be something. I just don't know. But we've looked, like, Swashbuckle My Heart. Great. Swashbuckle My Heart by Lauren Roottrees. By Lauren Rafferty. Published. Re-released as X Marks the Spot. X Marks the Spot. by Lauren Roottree. Fiction. According to the back of the book, this is a buried treasure by Lauren Roottree and from the author of the core series. It also says to keep an eye out for Lauren Rootree's next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 Years Later. Releasing in 1975. Revisiting the Diary 10 Years Later? Revisit. Oh, shoot. Revisiting. Oh, wait, what is this? This was a version of Lauren Rootree's diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects. The death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some of the select pages. Oh, interesting. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottree had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud, Samantha Roottree. There we go. We'll highlight that. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Oh, so I was right originally. I was right with Samantha, and then you, and you're a farmer, right? Or you're something of that sort. We're not meant to receive. Quite a shock. Apparently, she was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr., Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Wait. Okay, yeah. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that. Almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottree in the first place, even though she was not part of the Clancy trust. He wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Got it. So, Sam Roottree married Ernest Madsen, who had Gwyneth and Ernest Jr., who had an unknown person and a Nicole Madsen. Okay. So how many? So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have a lot. We just don't have them exactly where we need them because we need 4. Okay. Maybe she became a housewife after that. Maybe housewife? I'm not sure, but let's keep reading. This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's Diary as a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I did not even know Sam was a Roottree. All my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. Okay. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operation would pass to Samantha Roottree for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Wow. Oh, wow. Jeez Louise. So what do they call that? I guess I could just keep reading. But I just want to see, like, okay, so there's nothing really that, like, fits what we're looking for. Unless, like, it's director or something. We'll throw that in there for now. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Yeah, confirmed bachelor. That's what it is. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Interesting. So there's a couple more clues here. This is a page additional about her son Clark. Reading this back, I get deja vu as I write this addendum. Clark's gotten married again. No Roottree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob, and Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlit. But neither of us ever took a second husband. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be a third wheel. And I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio, but still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last. And Lord knows I was right last time. Okay, so Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers. So Eli C., Clark and Jim as brothers. Oh, yeah. So Jim and Clark. Yeah. Okay. Got that. What's this one? The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it. There are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracles Eli, or Eli C. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy. So now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is that anytime anyone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of junior. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. Okay, so we figured that out. We figured kind of that out, right? Yeah. And then you. Fun bonus. Apparently, this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes. Oh, wait. This is a page from a 1975 10-year anniversary release. It's not a companion piece to any specific, but rather a fun. Oh, okay. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes, based on the teacher's name, she must have been in the third grade. She doesn't exactly remember the event spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a good thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I'm glad she is gone." Okay. So we know that this is Gwyneth. We know that this is Samantha. We just don't know what exactly. So Samantha Roottree. Samantha Roottree. Nothing relevant. Obviously, that's why there wouldn't be anything relevant. I just need to figure out now what's next. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 1. Okay. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and children seem eager to help the family in their own way. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. So Ernie Jr., we know that he becomes the president, the 4th president. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was as excited and interested in actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has a green thumb of her mother and adopted grandfather. Gwyneth, green thumb, farmer. Okay. Oops. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring out. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy. Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her family, which doesn't have that covered, it's hard to explain. So they have glasses. Oh, wait, that can't be. That has to be her then, because they both have glasses, which would mean that this is Gwendolyn. Housewife. And farmer, housewife. Okay. Oh boy. These 4 entries are correct. Okay. Oh, so he was a professor. Okay. Did not think about. So I really wasn't sure. And he was a director. So that's Ronald. So the other one is definitely Robert. Okay.